Hey writers, Lee Jessup, career coach for emerging and professional screenwriters here, recording this video because over the past 24 hours since the news broke about the changes with the Nicholl Fellowship, you guys have reached out to me and asked me to weigh in. So here we go. For those of you who are not familiar with the Nicholl Fellowship, who are newer to screenwriting and want to know why the big brouhaha, the Nicholl Fellowship, which was launched by the Academy in 1985, has been the most prestigious screenwriting competition out there. It's obviously run for quite many years now, has named over 200 or nearly 200 fellows by now. And really, there wasn't a bigger, better name in competition wins than the Nicholl Fellowship. We've seen changes last year with the Nicholl Fellowship, and for the record, the Nicholl Fellowship is specific to features. It is not open to pilots. Last year, the Nicholl Fellowship capped its submissions at a certain number. I can't remember the exact one, but ultimately, after the ups and downs of COVID, I imagine they got to a place where they needed to better estimate what was coming in and what they needed to gear up for as far as reads. Well, this year and this week, and actually just yesterday, this is being recorded on March 26th. On March 25th, the Nicholl announced that it will be changing how and who it accepts scripts from for its competition year. We're talking about competition year 2025, and the big change that the Nicholl has made this year is that instead of being able to submit to the Nicholl Fellowship through their website, which is how you were able to submit to previously, and for their 2025 years, and I'm assuming for years to come, at least for the time being, they will be accepting submissions through what they're calling program partners for the 2025 years. Now, those partners include the Blacklist website, which will be taking public submissions. So for people that don't belong to these other organizations that we're going to talk about in a second, as well as film festivals. They are naming four film festivals, Berlin among them, I believe Toronto being another one, as well as a number of screenwriting and filmmaking university programs, among them AFI, American Film Institute, UCLA, a slew of others. Interestingly, USC is not on this list. The reason it's interesting, it's the number one film school that there is. Chapman is on it. Emerson is not. The David Lynch grad program for cinematic studies, which is one that I work for, didn't see on the list. I'm sure this list will continue to change and be adjusted, but if we are to look at this list that also has organizations like CAPE, you would have to be referred to the competition in order to be able to submit. That means the majority of submitters, by logic, if we go off this list, are going to be film students plus. Film students plus people who've done specifically well in these four film festivals or become recognized by an organization such as CAPE, or submitted their script to the Blacklist. Now, the Blacklist that we're talking about here is the website, not the list. If you're not sure, check out the video I did a little bit ago explaining this. But in order to submit through the Blacklist, and again, this is my understanding, and we may find out more information as we go along, you would have to host your script on the Blacklist website and pay for an evaluation that nets you a specific number grade that qualifies you then to submit into the Nicholl Fellowship. The good news is that the Blacklist website has a number of different opportunities and workshops and fellowships and competitions that they host through their site that you would then qualify for as well. The bad news is that there's a barrier to entry for this competition. Before you can be read by Nicholl readers, you have to be read and recommended by a film program that you're in, a film festival you submitted to, the Blacklist website. Cost goes up because ultimately you have to pay to host your script and pay for an evaluation before you can be referred into the Nicholl Fellowship, which is where the source of a lot of frustration comes, right? Writers are always looking for access. Being a semifinalist, finalist, or winner with the Nicholl Fellowship is one that a lot of feature writers specifically were eager for, kind of would have that on their list of things to accomplish. And now there's a barrier to entry in order to have your screenplay considered by the Nicholl. Effectively, they've eliminated their first round readers and are having those reads performed by those film programs, the blacklist websites, film festivals, programs like CAPE. Whether it's good or bad, that's a different conversation. And I think we're going to see in time how all of this lands. But a lot of writers are finding it frustrating because there are scripts that have historically not done well on the blacklist website, but did fare well with the Nicholl. We have those testimonies from writers who didn't succeed in one but succeeded in the other, and finally suddenly those two opportunities turn into one for writers seeking access. That's never a good thing. So I get the frustration, and I get where writers feel that this is yet another blow, especially in a market where we this year have lost the Screencraft competition, We Screenplay, and Launchpad. Granted, for business reasons, and I'm sure at the end of the day this is a business reason as well, but I understand the frustration that any writer might be feeling in this scenario, thinking that what we're looking for is access, and when we consolidate multiple businesses, that we lessen access points, right? Historically, you could do badly on one and well on the other. Well, here, if you don't do well in one, you will not get to the other. So I get your frustrations. I will say, let's kind of hold our breath and see how it all plays out. I do think that it creates new opportunities for existing competitions to become more aggressive with getting their writers out there. Also for new competitions, fellowships, programs to pop up, and I'll certainly keep you abreast of those. All of that said, I understand business decisions have to be made from a business side, and I will hope that everything always works out on the writers or in the writer's best interest. But also, while understanding the frustration being felt, I do imagine that some adjustments will be made and lists will be updated. So let's keep a watchful eye on that. And continue to look for different points of access for your material in the industry, which I will continue sharing videos on and talking about, because they are there. They're not gone. You can still break in. You can still gain visibility. So look out for those videos. Of course, subscribe if this was helpful. Sorry for the very long video here, but hopefully it gave you some insights.